Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. Another Saturday, another win for the Texas Longhorns. Now four straight, going up to Manhattan, exercising their demons, coming away with a 19-14 victory over the Kansas State Wildcats. And just very impressed with how this team is starting to build some consistency in terms of making winning plays, making plays at the time of adversity when things are against them, things aren't necessarily going their way. A lot of issues today. They did not bring their A game, but anytime you're able to go to Manhattan against a Bill Snyder coach team, all things considered, especially how we started the season, the history of everything, Oklahoma next week. You just had two very emotional back-to-back wins at home against top 25 opponents. You're just looking for this team to handle their business. They did that today. Was it perfect? Absolutely not. A lot of issues. We'll discuss some of them here. I'm also going to have my weekly post-game debrief with John Tran as you know, we get our thoughts together and go more in depth with certain angles of this game. But overall, I'll take the win as a fan going into the Red River Shootout. If you told me we were going to be 4-1, I'd take it. Now, wouldn't know that the one was to Maryland, but all things considered, you know, we when you look at the schedule at the beginning of the season, this 4-game stretch, USC, TCU, Kansas State, and Oklahoma, you're 3-0 in that stretch coming after the Tulsa victory. So things are shaping up for Texas to seriously compete for the Big 12 this season. But in order for them to do that, we're gonna need to see more consistency in a lot of different areas for this team. I told you guys in the preview video, but those of you who checked out the video, I think we dropped it on Friday, really wanted to see this team get off to a good start, which they did. I actually said, hey, if we can get off to something like 10-0 or 14-0, not only did they get off to a 14-0 start, they got out to a 19-0 lead. But unfortunately, like that's kind of where we stopped from a offense perspective, even special teams to a certain degree. Had a lot of issues going to the second half where our defense was on the field and extended. I will give the defense a bit of a pass to some degree because they did have a quarterback change, and as some folks astutely pointed out, Kansas State pretty much threw the kitchen sink at Texas. Now, with me even giving the defense a pass, and we'll start there, the secondary has to play better because all the elite passers, and this is the one thing, if we're going to dive in to analyzing Texas, you know, over these first 5 games, they really haven't faced an elite passer. They will next week. When they go to Dallas and they see Kyler Murray, some of those throws that Skylar Thompson was missing, basic bubble screen passes that Alex Delton could not execute, that's not going to be an issue for Kyler Murray. That's not going to be an issue for Will Grier. That's not going to be an issue for Taylor Cornelius, Alan Bowman, all the people, Charlie Brewer, all the really good passing, efficient, typical Big 12 quarterbacks is actually at the, you know, towards the back end of our schedule. So we're gonna have to button a lot of that stuff up. I understand that they kind of threw a curveball in there. Texas was so sound with their keys in their run fits and whatnot that they kind of got thrown off a bit. They only surrendered 14 points, but the time of possession was concerning, and the penalties on these deep balls are starting to become an issue. Chris Boyd being a senior and still, you know, getting beat on the same double moves. I told you guys again in the preview, Kansas State's probably gonna go to some double move plays. Any coach that watches film of us, that's a matchup you're gonna look to exploit. I told you guys they would look to exploit PJ Locke. You saw him get isolated a few times today on routes over the middle where he kind of got exposed. So overall, in the pass game, they got to work on that. Now, some things that I was encouraged to see was Charles Omenihu's motor was outstanding today. Obviously, he had that one possession where he had 2 sacks and the one leading to the safety in the end zone. But we had called him out, John and I. We had called out Brecken Hager, who to me is being played out of position to some degree, but he had a really good game today and helped finish the game to where we were able to go into our 4-minute drill offensively and close with possession. So all those things are positives in terms of the front seven. I thought the linebackers played overall pretty good today. I thought Anthony Wheeler got called on a BS defensive holding penalty, but Gary Johnson is put together several weeks of good football. Jeffrey McCulloch has been an unsung hero. I think I had listed him last week as one of our guys on contain. Marquez Bemish, the limited snaps he's played on the defensive line, he's been very good. Chris Nelson was very good again today. So at the point of attack, even though we got gashed a couple times, it's K-State. They run the football. That is their identity. We pretty much shut it down for the most part. And to hold the opponent to 14 points overall through 4 quarters is impressive. Now, moving on to the offense. First point of with this offense, get well soon, Tim Beck. Hopefully he should, if he hasn't been released from the hospital and someone can update us in the comments, hopefully he's released tomorrow and back with the team. I've been obviously very critical on this channel and just throughout of Tim Beck as a coach, but obviously as a man, football is secondary to one's health and livelihood. So all of us, here from UT, I don't think I would be out of line speaking on behalf of all the fans. Please get well soon and get back with the kids. You are needed. So now that we have that, that out there, 10 points overall offensively, not good enough. Quarterback play today was okay, was decent, but we left way too many big plays on the field. You come out opening drive, and this is where I will give Tom Herman and the folks that were involved in the play calling to take credit. The play design and the play calling was actually pretty timely. We didn't execute. The throw to Devin Duvernay where he's running a deep post over the middle, he breaks the guy off. It's plenty of room to throw a catchable football for Sam Ehlinger. We executed in our pass blocking assignments. He has plenty of time to identify. He made the correct read, makes a very poor throw. And this is starting to become an area of concern in my opinion, because he's left a lot of throws out there, a lot of points on the board. Those are plays where that's a touchdown, right? And I know in the scheme of this particular game, it's not a big deal because we came away with the W. But when you're going against the Texas Techs and the Oklahomas and the Oklahoma States, and these people are putting up 40, 50 points a game, you can't leave throws like that on the table. Because you know who's not going to leave a throw like that on the table? Will Greer or Kyler Murray, all the other quarterbacks I named earlier. So Sam's got it, and I don't know if it's a mechanical issue. It seemed like on that particular play, he didn't really step into the throw, more just kind of arming it out there, and he's just got to be more consistent on those deeper throws. To Sam's credit, he has cleaned up his decision making. I think he's now thrown, I don't know what the stat is, it's like over 120 something passes without an interception. He hasn't thrown a pick since the first game. So we're not having turnover issues. Overall, his short to intermediate pass game was very good. He completed all his short throws, but again, one of the concerns, even a throw he completed to Humphrey, that was very good quarterback play. But behind him is a post that Duvernay, again, it's funny how it's always Duvernay, unfortunately. Duvernay's running, this is a post for a touchdown. So it's like we are getting good quarterback play, but around the country, you're seeing some of these coaches submit good quarterback play for great quarterback play when they make a quarterback change and all that type of stuff. I'm not saying Texas needs to do any of that. I applaud Tom Herman for basically giving Sam Ehlinger all the reps, all the game time to develop that consistency. I think you're seeing that in the offense, when they want to go tempo, when they want to go 4-minute drill, the quarterback run game. Sam is the best fit for the offense right now and what they're trying to do this season. Also, the run game today wasn't great, but I do think we established who RB1 is, and that's Keontae Ingram. No disrespect to Trey Watson. Very solid player. Got us through the TCU game, got us through the USC game. But Keontae Ingram's special. Just his ability to cut on a dime, make people miss. identify holes that aren't really there. Just in terms of his suddenness around the line of scrimmage, it's just excellent. And I know he had a kind of a bulky knee brace on today. He's not necessarily 100%. His conditioning still probably isn't where it was just with the injury woes. But overall, just really impressed with his running, especially in the 4-minute drill. And John actually texted me. We were getting really frustrated with Daniel Young, and I know he's frustrated with a little lack of carries. I'm sure Toneel Carter's almost out of the door at this point, but with him not even getting on the field. But you're looking for guys that can move the chains. You're looking for guys that, hey, if I get hit by a line of scrimmage, I can still fall forward and try to get 2, 3, sometimes 4 yards. You saw all those aspects from Keontae Ingram today, as well as catching the football clean out of the backfield. Our wide receiving core today was outstanding, especially when they receive catchable footballs. Colin Johnson, as I tweeted, wide receiver 1 NFL draft. You heard it here. That guy's unbelievable, man. And I apologize because I have not talked enough about Colin Johnson on this channel. I know he had an amazing touchdown, all that type of stuff, but it's become kind of the norm for us when he gets a properly thrown ball that can really high point. But just when we get in I believe it was 3rd and 9 or 3rd and 12, and we go 5 wide, and he's able to get over the middle, get open, get down and make a catch and move the chains, get available for his quarterback. Those are the things that are going to make Colin Johnson a lot of money at the next level, because it's not just about being a deep threat and making explosive plays, but it's also about when you're that size, you have to be a good possession wide receiver. You have to be a guy that they go to move the chains. And that's why I was getting a little frustrated with Sam sometimes, because it's like, dude, sometimes you just got to give him a catchable ball. Like when he's working, he's one of the best receivers in the country right now, working the sidelines as well. So to see him come over the middle and make a play, Tom Herman gets a lot of credit for he made a concerted effort today to get Devin Duvernay the football. Although we missed him on 2 big plays, I think he had 6 or 7 catches today. Our bubble screen stuff, credit again to the wide receivers of blocking it better, where we were able to just get enough yards to keep the defense honest as K-State was getting desperate and trying to pursue to the football. But overall, I listened to positives, but 10 points overall in this game, because you have to remember Deshaun Jameson had the big punt return that was blocked so well. I give credit to Deshaun, with his speed and the stop and start and getting up the sideline, but the blocking on that 90-yard punt return was outstanding. But if you take that away and then a Minihue safety, this offense scored 10 points today against a bad Kansas State defense. This Kansas State defense is not very good, and they're going to get torched in the Big 12. They've only played so far at West Virginia, but when you see some of the people they were turning loose on the back end, and we missed a field goal, and that's another thing that leads me to our special teams right now. I know it was encouraging to see the punt return, but punt game is concerning. We got another one partially blocked today. We missed another field goal, albeit it was a 47-yarder, I believe from the left hash for Dicker. We want to get those things shored up. It's got to be all hands on deck to beat Oklahoma, because when we play Oklahoma, we need to get off to a good start, because last year I think we could have won that game if we don't get down 21-7 or whatever it was that we got down. Special teams plays a part in that as well. The field position battle, all these things have to be shored up going into the Red River Shootout next week if we want to have a chance of coming out there not just 5-1, but really, really asserting ourselves for an opportunity to play for a Big 12 title. All these things are very important. Overall, the only other thing I would say, if we haven't talked already about the secondary issues, I know they got caught off, but look, Chris Boyd, you're on notice, my friend. You're going to get targeted. Just be ready. Hollywood Brown, the weapons that Oklahoma will be deploying next week. You've got to, and Tom Herman, I just finished watching his press conference. He even said, I don't know what we need to do, why guys aren't turning their heads when the ball's in the air. It seems that especially your older guys should do that, because to me, if that doesn't improve, then the opportunities need to be laid out for whether it's a Jalen Green or Anthony Cook to try to steal some snaps. Because the type of mistakes I'm seeing out there, I expect that from younger guys. I know we saw Colby Boyce earlier this year, but some of these other younger, really super talented DBs, we've seen the safeties come along, and they're doing a great job. But we're not seeing that same level of coverage. Devontae Davis wasn't bad today, but Chris Boyd, it's just been a roller coaster ride for his UT career, and I just would like to see him down this stretch of the rest of these Big 12 games, all the way through as he finishes up. Just get that level of consistency there, because he has all of the want to, but there's just something that he gets either overly aggressive or led astray by something. Either he's keying the wrong thing, and he gets beat. And that's not something today. They did not have the quarterback nor the talent to really exploit that. But the storm is coming if we don't get those things corrected throughout the week. I am building more faith in this staff as things and technique issues and eyes. Those things seem to be getting corrected to me in practice, and I think that's a big reason why Texas is now 4-1 and why Texas is ranked. So give them credit. Tom Herman going on the road. I was skeptical of how this team plays away from home, and overall getting the win, it's great. Can't get shut out in the second half and lose 14-0 like that, but nothing's perfect, especially when you see teams like Clemson go back and forth with Syracuse today. Winning's hard against Power 5 schools, so we have to keep that in mind as well as fans, especially when we lose our offensive coordinator before the trip due to sickness. So overall, we got out of Manhattan. They passed the test, barely. That first half, they got an A, and the second half, they overall for the game, I'd probably give them a C+, just with their talent level and the talent level of Kansas State. They got to play better. They didn't bring their A game today, but it is a good sign that we can go on the road, not play our best, get penalized out the wazoo, and still come away with a W. That is a good step in the right direction for this staff and for this program. So, like I said, we'll be back later this week with a more comprehensive breakdown. This one went a little bit longer than I anticipated, but it was a very weird game today. But as always in Manhattan, nothing that we didn't expect. So appreciate you guys. Y'all let me know in the comments anything else we need to cover and discuss, and just what your feelings are as a UT fan heading into Oklahoma. We are now officially in OU week. And let me know who's heading up to Dallas for the State Fair and the Red River Shootout. As always, hook 'em. Appreciate y'all.